Hey guys, so I am doing a book review of the book Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. Over 2 million copies sold. It's on the New York Times bestseller list. Chapter 3 is a little bit shorter and easier, so I wanted to go ahead and knock all of that information out while I'm thinking about it. So, in chapter 3, step 1 is all about what is my attachment style? What attachment style applies to you? It has some quiz items that you can go through and help determine which of the 3 attachment styles applies most to you. So the answers will be if something is true for you, it's going to fall in one of the categories, whether it is falling in anxious, secure, or avoidance style. If you go through those items, it will become more clear to you on paper which attachment style applies to you. So you just go through, take the test, and then add up the scores. Then it goes through and tells you which is which I thought was good. It also does have a website that you can go to. I will type it in here after the live ends. But if you look it up, it's called the ECR quiz, the Experience and Close Relationships quiz. You can just Google ECR quiz, and there are some free ones available. But there's also a website. It's www.web- if I could talk, web-research-design.net/CGI/BIN/CRQ/CRQ.pl. It's long, so I'll type it in. This book is a few years old, so if it were new, it would probably just have a QR code and I could say, here's the QR code, go take the test. But like I said, if you just Google ECR quiz, you'll get to an attachment style quiz. You can also just Google attachment style quiz and it will ask you a series of questions that goes through the different patterns and things that helps determine which attachment style that you may be. It also has a little section that says, what if I'm still not sure? And I did have to read through that because my numbers were really, really close together between two styles. And I wasn't super surprised by that, but a little bit because when I was reading through it first, I was like, oh, okay, like this kind of resonates. I feel like I'm this or that. And then when I took the test, it's like, oh, well, maybe not. Hi, guys. I'm doing a book review on the book Attached. It's all about the science of attachment styles in adult relationships. The book title says it is the new science of adult attachment and how it can help you find and keep love. So, if you are interested in finding or keeping love or learning more about attachment styles, this is the go to book. I definitely was referred to this book by a few people that I respect. I know a lot of people in the psychology field, and that's what my degree is in and things too. So a lot of the doctors that I'd be around would talk about attachment theory, and I felt like there's not really a ton on the internet about it. Like you'll hear anxious or avoidant, but there's not really a lot of information about it. But one book that I just kept hearing about over and over was this book, Attached. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll get the book. Well, I had a lot of heavy, heavy reading in my master's program for life coaching. It was like a book a week, like long, complicated books, a book a week I was reading. So I was like, okay, as soon as these classes are over, I am going to go through and read this book. Well, around, I guess it was like Black Friday, Thanksgiving. Books go on super sale on Amazon, and I'm a sucker. So I got this book and some others. It was only like maybe $6. So got the book. Yes, Elizabeth Chavez, of course, yes. Okay, so around Black Friday, I got the book, but I did not crack this thing open because I had just so much schoolwork that I was working on and reports for those and just too much going on. So the book did not get cracked open until just recently. And chapter 1, I did a live, I think last week on. Then chapter 2, I did a live just earlier today, but chapter 3, I wanted to go ahead and knock out because it's a little easier. It's really just the quizzes to figure out what your attachment style is. So it says, what if I'm still not sure? And I did have to read through that part. So it says, when people hear about attachment styles, they often have no difficulty recognizing their own style. Some people tell us right away, I'm anxious, I'm definitely avoidant, or I think I'm secure. Others have a harder time figuring it out. If you scored high on one or more attachment styles, you might find it helpful to learn that 2 dimensions essentially determine attachment style overall. Your comfort with intimacy and closeness, or the degree to which you try to avoid those things, and your anxiety about your partner's love and attentiveness and your preoccupation with the relationship. So I thought that was pretty good to have already known that you may fall in more than one category and or be similarly scored in more than one category and need further information to really determine what your attachment style is. It says they find it particularly helpful that it's presented in graphic form, which gives a bird's eye view of attachment style that helps you understand how your attachment style relates to that of others. So it has like an axis. Let me show you this. It has an axis that, oh, this is going to be backwards for you guys. Let me see if I can just turn this guy around real quick. Okay, so it shows you attached the attachment dimensions. If you are low avoidance or high avoidance, if you're trying to avoid intimacy, are you low on that and you're fine to be intimate, or are you high on that and you are trying to avoid intimacy? Then it also has low and high anxiety. So are you low anxiety in relationships or are you high anxiety in relationships? Based on those 2 factors, you should be able to see what area you are in. Most of the population is secure. About 25% is avoidant. About 22% is anxious. And then that other, 2, 3, 5% is actually a mix of anxious and avoidant. That's the most rare type. So it gives that axis to kind of help you go through it. And then it also gives a few real life examples that may help as well. It says, if you feel comfortable with intimacy with your romantic partner and are low on intimacy avoidance and don't obsess much about the relationship or about your partner's ability to love you back, then you're probably secure. If you crave intimacy and closeness and you are low on intimacy avoidance but have a lot of insecurities about where the relationship is going and little things your partner does to set you off, then you're probably anxious. If you feel uncomfortable when things become too close and intimate and value your independence and freedom more than the relationship, i.e. high on intimacy avoidance, and don't tend to worry about your partner's feelings or commitment toward you, or are low on relationship anxiety, then you're probably avoidant. So if you're both uncomfortable with intimacy and very concerned about your partner's availability, you may have that rare combo of attachment anxiety and avoidance, that little 3 to 5% mark that not very much of the population falls into. So only a small percentage of the population falls into this category, and if you are one of them, you can benefit from information on both the anxious and avoidant attachment styles. So has anyone on here now taken any of these tests? Have you guys heard of attachment theory? Have you read the book, taken any quizzes, done any attachment work, or do you even know anything about the science of attachment theory at this point? Oh, hello from India. That's awesome. I am here in Missouri in the United States, so it is like really cold. We're supposed to be getting a terrible storm in later today. Even our internet company was saying we are preparing for outages. Like, oh no, anywhere from 3 to 8 inches is the estimated snowfall today. So yeah, definitely got my car in the garage, and all the good snacks and things that we will need are here. My mom was already texting like, hey, make sure you have candles and flashlights and all the things. I'm like, oh yeah, I got all the things. Like, I'm from here. I know what happens when it snows. I did actually have to go to Walmart yesterday, and I don't like to go to Walmart on Fridays because it's busy. I guess that's when people get paid, so it gets busy. but I really don't like to go to Walmart if there is any kind of crazy weather forecast. I try to avoid Walmart like the plague when there's a weather forecast, but I had to go grab just a couple of things. Had a lot of kids and people here over the holidays, and there were just items that I needed, so I had to go. Let me tell you, I was not like shopping for pizza or anything, but I had to walk down that like frozen pizza aisle. It was I don't know, it was like a ghost pizza town. It was like all the little glass things were completely empty. Like there was no pizza, not any brand. Like people had just, I guess, been in there just racking up on pizzas. I've never really seen that before. I always heard about like have milk, bread, and I don't remember what the third thing was, but like those are the staples that they're always like, oh, make sure you have this stuff. Oh, eggs, milk, bread, and eggs. And so I was expecting like there probably won't be bread, and there wasn't. And we get eggs from like a farmer, so we don't have to worry about eggs, thankfully. And the milk was super crazy low, but I don't necessarily like the regular milk, and there was still almond milk, so that was fine too. But yeah, Walmart was crazy town. I don't see that anyone has commented any questions or anything about attachment theory. So if you have not heard of it, go check it out. If you are reading the book, definitely go through it slowly because all of chapter 3, oh, hi, Chrissy. All of chapter 3 really is just going over determining your own attachment style. If you don't already know it, learn it. And then those tips that we went through, you can always watch that back because that's really the determining factor. Those two things on the axis I showed are gonna let you know if it is, between two, it's gonna tell you most likely. Okay, and it did for me within like one question. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that clarified it for me. We got this. Again, as soon as the live ends, I will go in and link that site. But if you Google the ECR quiz experience in close relationships, it will tell you your attachment style. There are some, if you are on Google, that are paid quizzes. So if you want to pay for one, that's awesome. But there are a lot on there that are free too. And I think it is, even if you're not reading the book, it's still an important step just to better understand whatever frequency you may be on already with your attachment style, because that is going to show up. Like the book says, like whether we like it or not is not a conscious choice. It is an innate behavioral item that we will get attached. At some point, we will have attachment. So the more we know about our own attachment, the better we can show up when we do, and the better we can select partners. It was definitely already really heavy on that being such a big factor for our health, our wellness, and our happiness in our life overall. Like overall lifespan, biggest factor is the partner you select. Are they going to be able to make you happy? And it is already alluding to the fact that certain mixes do not result in happiness. There were a couple of dating examples a little further in that will say, like, hey, they, this happy, awesome, lit up, successful woman got with this guy, and their attachment styles just did not go well together. She started suffering at work because she was preoccupied with the relationship. Her friendship suffered, like everything in her life just started falling off because she was with someone that was unable to calm her nervous system down and keep her attachment system in that secure, I'm okay space. He was triggering her to a space that she did not need to be in or want to be in, and it was ruining every other aspect of her life. Well, one of the other things it talks about is how difficult it is to break off those relationships at times because you get activated and you want to stay in them. There's weird science going on here. Hi. There's weird science going on that keeps you staying in those spaces and really making efforts to stay in those spaces. So, something important to know about if you are in a relationship, this could be a problem that you could maybe work on. If you are not yet in a relationship, it's something to definitely learn about in that single stage, so that when you are dating with a plan, a purpose, and with the knowledge to protect yourself from someone who may be an attachment style that is going to be bad for you, all bad. And suck away whatever progress that you've made during your single season. So, as part of your single season, if you watching are single, this might be part of your homework. You might need this. You might need to go through the test, the steps, and learn more about attachment theory before you get the fifis, get feelings involved, and actually get attached to another human. Well, I hope that was helpful for chapter 3. I will be back on someday going through chapter 4. If you haven't already ordered the book, grab it. It's under 10 bucks. It may also be available at your local library. A lot of the libraries, at least here in the US, are doing online library book rentals as well. So you can log onto your local library, search the title. It's a pretty common book, so a lot of libraries have it. I just wanted a physical copy since it was so inexpensive, but you can also read it for free. There's a bunch of different apps where you can put them on your Kindle or on your phone and read the books on the free too. So this might be one that you want to keep if you are really into the psychology space, but if you're not and you just want the information, it's a fairly quick read. Like I'd say a day or two read. It's not super long, not super complex. Like the language is very readable and it's an easy read. So something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining. Have an awesome weekend.